Hello. Today I will be doing a tutorial on the JDBC and ODBC connectivity in the IRI Workbench for DB2. So when you first launch Workbench, this is going to be the screen that is provided. It just gives a quick overview of a bunch of things that the Workbench offers and pretty much just how to go through the Workbench. It really gets your foot in the door, gets you a little bit more comfortable with what you're doing. So we're going to go ahead and X out of this. If at some point you do want that window to be brought back up, you'll go to Help, Welcome, and here we are. So first things first is we're going to have to create a new IRI project so that way we can test the connectivity once we're finished. So we'll go ahead and create a new project. We'll name it Tester, click Finish. If you don't happen to see that up there, you can just go to File, New, IRI Project. You can just go to New, and then Other, and then IRI project right down here. All right, so now that we have the project made, we're gonna go into this Data Source Explorer right here. If this doesn't happen to be up, let's say you X'd out of it by accident, you can go up here to the window, Show View, Data Source Explorer right here, or you can just go to Other, you can type it in, it'll pop up, and then you just click Open, and it'll open back down here. So we're going to start with the JDBC connection. So we're going to click this new connection profile right here. Since we're doing DB2, that's the connection profile we're going to click. You can rename it here if you'd like. I'm just going to leave it as default. Same with the description. All right, here we're going to be adding a driver since we have no driver selected since it's a brand new installation. We're looking for our system version. For this one, I'm just going to select the 11.1. And again, same thing. You can change the driver name if you'd like. All right, we're going to go over to the jar list, and let's say that these were gone. We're going to add a jar. Now we're going to go into where our JDBC is installed for DB2. IBM, here, Java, just like that. All right, we're going to go into the properties portion. We're going to ensure that the database name is correct, and then we're going to go ahead and enter our password. Like that. Then we're going to go into our username. Like that. We're going to click OK. All right, here it's going to bring up a little bit more information. So the database sample is correct for me. Host, that is actually different. Oops. Like that. Port number, that is good for me. Username, password, I'm going to save the password. All right, now we're going to test the connection, and everything worked as intended. So let's say that you don't change the host name or something is misspelled correctly, so we'll do that one instead of that. We'll test the connection just to show you what it's like when it fails. It will say ping failed. You can open up this details section, and we'll give you a little bit more information as to the reason as to why it failed. So if that does happen, you can just scroll through this, but as long as you entered everything in correctly, it should work perfectly fine. So we'll set that back up, test the connection one more time. All right, here we can either click next or finish. This is just going to bring up a little sample of everything that we already entered in. We're going to click finish, and as you can see over here, we now have samples with our schemas, and then inside our schemas are our tables, just like that. So that was the JDBC connection done. Let's go to the ODBC. So in order to do that, we're going to go to the IRI menu. We're going to go to the ODBC Administrator dialog. Here you can either do it under User or System. I'm going to opt for the User. I'm just going to click Add. I'm going to go to the DB2 driver, which should already previously be installed in order to get access to this. I'm going to click Finish. And for this database alias, you're more than likely not going to have anything here. So you're going to go ahead and click Add. It's just going to have you put in an alias name. It's going to pop up with another window that looks like this. So from here, we're going to go into, again, you can add a description. We're going to add the user ID. And then we're going to add the password, like that. I'm going to save the password here. I'm going to click OK. We're going to go into advanced settings. And then from here, These are going to be parameters that we add. For DB2, it's a good idea to add these parameters that are here. So we're going to do the host name, which is right there. I'm going to click OK. All right, and it's going to add or ask for the host name, which is going to be that for me. Click OK. You see it got added here. Next, we're going to add the port. We're going to click OK. And then we type in the port value. One more, and this one is going to be database. Right there. And then the database name, which is that. We're going to click OK. All right, we're going to click apply. We're going to go back into data source. We're going to click connect. As long as everything was done correctly, it should say successful, which it in fact does. So we're going to click OK. We're going to click OK again. Now we're going to link these together. So we're going to go to the IRI menu again, which is up here. Drop down, IRI preferences. Under the IRI tab, connection registry, database connection. And then you see here we have our DB2 test. If not, you can click add, but it should be here. And this is just the alias that you named it earlier. So now that we have that open, we're going to make sure that we have our bit version set correctly, which is 64. So as you can see here, we're running a 64-bit version, but on our database connectivity, the default bit version is set to 32 here. So we need to go back over here. We need to change this to a 64. We need to refresh the page. Then we're going to reopen this and do it again. If you do the different bit versions, it won't work properly. All right, so we're going to add the username and password. So we're going to do that, and you can choose to encrypt them if you like. Okay, now that we have that in, we're going to do the mapping to the connection profile, which is over here in our data source explorer, just in case you forgot the name or if there's multiple there. And then in this dialog window, you can actually do everything we did previously to where you can do the ODBC and the JDBC here. But since we already did those in a previous step, we don't have to do them here. We're going to click OK. And you can see it's authenticated with a connection profile set there. We're going to set this to active. We're going to apply and close. All right, and now we're going to test to make sure that everything works properly. So we're going to go into the schemas. We're going to go into the tables. We're going to select any random table you'd like. We're going to right click. We're going to go to IRI, generate DDF. We're going to click next and finish. And as long as this populates, that means we did everything correct. And just to double check, we're going to check the column names. So we have order ID, customer ID, freight, and total. And that is stored inside of your project folder over here. That's why we created it initially. With that being said, that is a very basic tutorial on how to set up the ODBC, JDBC connections with DB2 in the IRI Workbench.